Part 4, Siddhis. Siddhis, a Sanskrit word meaning perfection or accomplishment, refer to extraordinary spiritual abilities or powers that can develop through deep meditation and spiritual practice in Indian traditions like Hinduism, Buddhism, or Jainism. There are dozens of said abilities, which can include clairvoyance, telepathy, levitation, healing powers, and materialization of objects. Different traditions recognize similar powers, such as walking on water, teleportation, and multiplying one's body, also known as bilocation. Throughout history, many saints and mystics have been credited with these remarkable abilities. Sai Baba of Siddhis was renowned for materializing sacred ash out of thin air and knowing intimate details of people's lives without being told. Saint Joseph of Cupertino became famous for levitating during prayer, witnessed by church officials and crowds. Mahavatar Babaji, one of the more recent avatars of the divine, is said to possess bilocation and could materialize food and objects at will. Christ performed many miracles, like walking on water, healing the blind, and turning water into wine. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa could appear to disciples in distant locations while physically elsewhere. Neem Karoli Baba performed many miraculous healings from his presence alone. The 84 Mahasiddhas of Vajrayana Buddhism were known for flying, walking through walls, and even shape-shifting. St. Padre Pio could read people's hearts during confession, knowing their unspoken sins, and was reported to bilocate, appearing in two places simultaneously. Eva can read your thoughts at any moment if she taps into them. Cornelius can access information from anyone and speak to any person in history. Neringa can read your entire energy profile to see your past lives, whether you are lying or not, and what your motivations are. In nearly every spiritual tradition since the dawn of man, there have been countless accounts of those with seemingly supernatural powers. These were the powers I had wanted as a child when reading those saint books. And when I started meeting these ex-men and ex-women at the retreat, the child in me lit up with curiosity. What I discovered through my obsessive research was that developing siddhis requires an almost superhuman level of spiritual dedication. Deep meditation forms the foundation. Siddhis are said to arise as byproducts of advanced meditation, where the mind achieves perfect concentration and absorption, what is often referred to as samadhi. According to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, these abilities become accessible only after mastering the final three limbs of yoga: concentration, meditation, and absorption, collectively called samyama. This means sustaining unwavering focus and deep meditative absorption for extended periods. We're talking hours, not minutes. While some of my mentors get sudden downloads from the LCS as siddhis, many typically started with purification and ethical living through what they call yamas and niyamas. Yamas and niyamas are the ethical foundation of yogic practice, essentially the moral code that creates the groundwork for spiritual development. The yamas are 5 restraints: ahimsa, which is nonviolence; satya, truthfulness; asteya, non-stealing; brahmacharya, energy conservation or sexual restraint; and aparigraha, non-possessiveness. These aren't just about not physically harming people. Ahimsa extends to your thoughts and words. Satya means being brutally honest with yourself. And asteya covers stealing time or energy from others, not just physical objects. The niyamas are 5 positive practices: swacha, which is cleanliness and purity; santosha, contentment; tapas, disciplined practice; svadhyaya, self-study and sacred texts; and ishraya, pranayama, surrender to the divine. According to tradition, you can't skip to advanced meditation techniques while living unethically and expect to develop spiritual power safely. These moral foundations purify your consciousness and create the stable ground necessary for higher abilities to emerge. It's like building a skyscraper. Without a solid foundation, the whole structure collapses, and any powers you develop could easily corrupt you or cause harm. This means that ethical conduct, self-discipline, and purity of mind and body are essential. Practicing nonviolence, truthfulness, contentment, and self restraint creates a foundation for higher abilities to manifest. You literally cannot develop real spiritual power while lying, cheating, or harming others. Physical practices matter too. Asanas and pranayama help harmonize energy and prepare both body and mind for deeper states. Asanas are the physical yoga postures that prepare the body for long periods of meditation by creating strength, flexibility, and energetic balance. While pranayama refers to specific breathing techniques that control and direct life force energy, prana, throughout the body. These practices aren't just physical exercise, they're designed to purify the energy channels, calm the nervous system, and create the optimal physiological conditions for consciousness to expand into deeper meditative states where siddhis can naturally emerge. Mantra and sound practices can also play a crucial role. Focused chanting of specific mantras is believed to awaken latent powers and align the practitioner's vibration with universal energies. Sound healing and group chanting can further enhance the spiritual development. It's like tuning yourself to frequencies most people can't even perceive. Most traditions emphasize that guidance from a guru is vital. Working under an experienced spiritual teacher provides personalized techniques, helps you avoid dangerous pitfalls, and ensures ethical use of any abilities that develop. This isn't something you want to figure out on your own. Some people apparently have natural predispositions due to spiritual achievements in previous lives. They're essentially born closer to these abilities. Neringa said she came into this life with many of her abilities and even no thoughts since childhood. Amy saw her powers come online at an early age and didn't know what to make of them at first. And Campbell said he was born with little to no fear, which stayed his entire life. However, all authentic spiritual traditions emphasize an important warning. Siddhis are merely side effects of spiritual progress, not the ultimate goal. Becoming attached to these powers can inflate the ego and distract from true spiritual awakening and liberation. As Patanjali notes in the Yoga Sutras, these abilities are actually obstacles to samadhi, despite being impressive accomplishments in worldly terms. Approaching siddhis requires humility, ethical grounding, and proper guidance to avoid ego inflation or misuse. Of course, Neringa had only scratched the surface of these mystical abilities before getting up and leaving, abandoning me with more questions than answers. Were these abilities something I could develop myself through years of disciplined practice? Or was I witnessing something reserved solely for spiritual athletes who've been training across this life and many previous lifetimes? Either way, I knew I'd stumbled into something far deeper than I'd realized. But where are they getting this all from? Welcome to the Akashic Records.